Ladies and gentlemen, President Trump is not the greatest president since Abraham Lincoln. I'll put FDR ahead of Trump and some other presidents, but I will say that Jon Voight is correct in his greatness. President Trump is one of the great presidents we've had. Now, for petulant, snarky, unhappy, and miserable and disgruntled people on the left who lost the election after they cheated Bernie Sanders and then fabricated a new Cold War with a McCarthy-era Red Scare nonsense that now they have to backtrack and say, well, it was about obstruction, really. Now they're saying, we got to get his taxes. They have no value system. They got in bed with the very corrupt intelligence community officials. I'll say that Jon Voight is not only a brilliant actor, a legendary actor. I mean, are there any actors nowadays in this groupthink, cult, Hollywood mentality that gave President Trump 15 years of The Apprentice and now pretends to resist him? They gave him 15 years of The Apprentice. 15 years. Let's look at Apprentice really quickly. And I'm going to give you some context. So if you're saying, oh my God, you're crazy, H.A., you're going to hear Madam Cyberhack's Super Predator comment in full context, where she's pushing the crime bill, where she's doubling down on everything that Bubba Bill Clinton did to harm American citizens. But let's just really quickly. Unemployment rate falls to the lowest in nearly 50 years. U.S. unemployment rate drops to 3.7%. Record low Black and Latino unemployment. Signs the First Step Act. 10 reasons why the First Step Act. There's a CNN article, 10 reasons why the First Step Act should be praised by Van Jones. You can talk about the beginning of peace between North and South Korea. Now, are there obstacles? Sure. Has President Trump engaged in certain acts I don't approve of? Yeah, but Clinton would have been far worse. There is no rebuttal from people on the left regarding peace between North and South Korea. The only rebuttal is, well, there's no peace yet. Yeah, but there's the beginning of. There's détente. There's Moon Jae-in and Kim Jong-un embracing one another, talking to one another. That never happened under President Obama or any president prior to Trump. Obama destroyed Libya, along with Clinton and Biden. So Jon Voight is right. I don't know about the greatest president since Lincoln. But he is a great president. Jon Voight has deemed President Trump the greatest president since Abraham Lincoln. I'm here to tell you today, my fellow Americans, that our country is stronger, safer, and with more jobs. I do believe we're a stronger country than we would have been with Clinton. Much stronger. We have a far better economy. You can't say that, tax cuts didn't work. Well, yeah, it didn't work for everyone. Oh, so Clinton's economy would have worked for everyone? Did Obama's economy work for everyone? She was supposed to be a third Obama term. The tax cuts, whether you think they'll last long term or not, spurred economic growth. That's a fact. We now have not only record low unemployment, but we now have GDP that surpassed expectations yet again. And this is in the backdrop of Paul Krugman stating that we would have a global recession. GDP at 3.1% this quarter, something like that, beating expectations of 2.3%. But here's the context I want to give you, okay? Here's the context I want to give you. U.S. economy grew faster than expected in the fourth quarter. The naysayers were wrong about the Trump economy. Even the Washington Post is saying that an impressive 3.1%. But let's just here is, if you say that Trump is a racist, well, you know what? Gee, you never heard about that before he ran. Floyd Mayweather Jr. Stated that. An amazing observation. You never heard about him being racist prior, but you did hear about Clinton. And if people say, well, how does that help you with Jon Voight's comment? Well, just listen to this. Let's strip away the propaganda that says that he's racist. Because if Trump is racist for tweets that he uses to disparage political adversaries, these are political adversaries. He's not disparaging millions of people of the same cultural or ethnic or racial background when he specifically points to individuals. But let's look at Hillary Clinton. This is the person who, by the way, will run again, who ran in 2016, the Democratic nominee. Now we've had 2-3 years of, oh my God, you said this in your past. Well, let's look and see if they hold people to the same standards. Do they hold Keith Ellison, Justin Fairfax, Bill Clinton to the same standards regarding Me Too, Ralph Northam to the same standards regarding perform or blackface in a photo? Do they? No. The left is devoid of any actual value system. And Trump, in terms of his achievements, going up against corrupt intelligence officials that utilized information purchased by Clinton, the Steele dossier was purchased by Hillary Clinton, complete nonsense, funneled through intelligence agencies illegally, and we're going to find that out with the IG report and with William Barr declassifying information. He fought against the intelligence community, very corrupt intelligence agencies and officials, Comey, Strzok, Brennan, Clapper, and McCabe. He fought against a media that went after Bernie Sanders, who engaged in a cowardly act himself. The Washington Post called me the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters. The Huffington Post called me the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet. Why? Because I made a clear delineation. Clinton engaged in overt criminal acts. She's essentially a walking criminal. And she essentially owns the Democratic Party. She will run again, and they won't care about this.
Citizens and neighborhood patrols are doing, we're making some progress. Much of it is related to the initiative called community policing, because we have finally gotten more police officers on the street. That was one of the goals that the president had when he pushed the crime bill that was passed in 1994.
This is in 1996. This is a statement that she made referring to black youth, which was specifically done to publicize and defend the crime bill that now everyone's going after Biden about. Then that everyone will forget when she runs again, because she's running again. But this is not why President Trump is a great president. He's a great president because he's doing everything he's doing. Great economy, foreign policy infinitely better than President Obama's. Signed the First Step Act, which is prison reform, the antithesis of what you're hearing now. You have a president who culturally is pushing back against the one-sided hypocrisy and disingenuous and duplicitous nature of the left. Oh my gosh, you can't say certain things unless you're Clinton, unless you're a YouTube personality with millions of subs and says sorry, unless you're Joy Reid, who says sorry at MSNBC because Russians allegedly hacked her blog posts that were anti-gay. They don't have the same standard. The standard by which they judge Trump is not the standard by which they uphold or judge themselves. And when they're caught with their pants down, all they do is forget about the Justin Fairfaxes of the world. Here, Justin Fairfax, look him up. Virginia Democrat. Justin Fairfax couldn't feel my... What's the actual quote? Justin Fairfax accuser Vanessa Tyson described assault, quote, "I couldn't feel my neck." Do you think any liberal pundit or progressive pundit who might take portions of this video to try to disparage me, do you think that they know who Justin Fairfax's accuser is, or they know who Justin Fairfax is, Virginia Lieutenant Governor? I couldn't feel my neck. They don't, there's no outrage. They cover the story, the left does, and they just sweep it under the rug. But before we get to truly why Trump is great, because I'm all over the place like I usually am, here's more of Hillary. You're welcome.
He promised 100,000 police. We're moving in that direction, but we can see it already makes a difference. Because if we have more police interacting with people, having them on the streets, we can prevent crimes. We can prevent petty crimes from turning into something worse. But we also have to have an organized effort against gangs. Just as in a previous generation, we had an organized effort against the mob. We need to take these people on. They are often connected to big drug cartels. They are not just gangs of kids anymore. They are often the kinds of kids that are called super predators.
What? What was that? Wonderful vanguard of all that's good and pure. So this meant a lot more at the time than a Trump tweet. Let's listen to this again, and here's the context. The context is that she's trying to defend a crime bill that now is universally viewed as racist. And not only a crime bill viewed as horrible, but a crime bill that is said to have decimated communities. Yes, that's Hillary Clinton. Why is that important? Because the propaganda that says that Trump is an orange monster who's xenophobic and a tyrant and a demagogue ignores the fact that he signed prison reform legislation while she pushed the crime bill and called black youth super predators. So before we get, the end of this segment, I'll get to why he's truly great. Kind of gave you snippets here and there, and I'm all over the place like I usually am, but it's important because there's so much out there. And you just got to listen to Clinton's words and judge her like they judge Thomas Jefferson now, and they judge everyone else, and they're judging other people based on things they said in the past. Well, here you go. Here you go. Let's see if the left, for a second time, will nominate the same person who, by the way, Hillary Clinton referred to Mahatma Gandhi as a gas station attendant. You don't believe me? She apologized for that. Yet another insidious remark. Oh, but certainly not going to elicit any outrage from the justice defending left. Apologizes. Clinton apologizes for Gandhi remark. New York Times, 2004. Hillary Clinton regrets Gandhi joke. January 7, 2004. Hillary apologizes for Gandhi remark. Senator Hillary Rodham Clinton apologized for joking that Mahatma Gandhi used to run a gas station in St. Louis. This is January 6, 2004. Hillary regrets Gandhi joke. CBS News, 2004. Oh, you want more racism from Clinton? Oh, okay. Hillary Clinton apologizes. Clinton remark on Kennedy stirs uproar. Hillary cites RFK assassination in explaining why she's still in the race against Obama in 2008. Politico. Are you kidding me? Hillary Clinton's 2008 campaign explains RFK. Could you imagine if anyone else brought up what happened to RFK when running against Obama in 2008? But Clinton gets away with it. Just like Justin Fairfax and Keith Ellison and their accusations. We don't know if they happened, but where's the oh my God, Access Hollywood? Well, Bill Clinton has an actual Wikipedia page. This is whataboutism, H.A. Whataboutism. Yeah, it is. What about this?
The kinds of kids that are called super predators. No conscience, no empathy. We can talk about why they ended up that way, but first we have to bring them to heel.
First we have to bring them to heel. Welcome, your 2020 Democratic nominee for president. You think they're going with Botox Biden? Don't be foolish. And he said the same things. He's made actually many comments, negative comments, about Indian Americans. Jokes. Again, if the standard is Trump is a vile human being, then utilize that against your own side. If you don't, you're hypocrites, and your uproar and your outrage is meaningless. but that's probably too difficult to understand for people whose lives revolve around judging others and forgetting that their side is just as, or probably actually worse than Trump. Let's listen to this again.
No conscience, no empathy. We can talk about why they ended up that way, but first we have to bring them to heel. And the president has asked the FBI to launch a very concerted effort against gangs everywhere.
Oh, okay. James Comey. Hopefully James Comey can talk about that wonderful, the wonderful union between the Clintons and the FBI. But anyway, the point is this. You heard it from Madam Cyberhack's mouth in 1996. Gee, I wonder when Now Is This and BuzzFeed are going to write a story about this and expose the fact that she called black youth super predators in 1996. How about probably not? How about it's Clinton, she can get away with pretty much any... Trump was 100% wrong in utilizing the birther myth. Guess what Clinton did? Utilized the birther myth in a far more insidious manner. Clinton and Guardian. Most shameful and offensive fear-mongering. But what does this have to do with him being great? Hold on 1 second. You will learn. Just calm down. Clinton aides claim Obama photo wasn't intended as smear. The Guardian. Oh, yes, it was intended as a smear. That's how Hillary works. 2008. Obama's campaign manager, David Plouffe, described it as the most shameful, offensive fear-mongering we've seen from either party in this election. Obama spent much of the campaign stressing he's a Christian. Aides for Mrs. Clinton, who was fighting a last-ditch battle to keep her hopes for the White House alive, initially tried to brush off the furor, but later denied having anything to do with the distribution of the picture. Right. And she didn't transfer top-secret intelligence outside of the United States government. She didn't transfer SAP intelligence on her basement server from Cybernet, JWIC, SCIFs, other secure locations within the United States government. That never happened. James Comey never said that. Of course he did. He didn't explain how she transferred the information. But 17 minutes in, I'll give you exactly why Trump is a great president, the greatest president of my lifetime. Far better than Obama, Bush, Clinton. Looking at Reagan, I would say that he's better than Reagan. Although now looking back, I would say Reagan was better than Clinton and Obama. Anyway, President Trump has pushed back against a very corrupt media. He's pushed back against a very corrupt intelligence community that the left reveres. He's pushed back against a cultural shift that is based on duplicity and hypocrisy and a great deal of irony. When you have Bill Clinton with an actual Wikipedia page of assault charges, and then you have the left pontificating, he's also pushed back against giant tech companies trying to censor thought, trying to literally dictate thought. Any conservative viewpoint is now viewed as racist or prejudice or sexist or something misogynist by the imbeciles who ignore Hillary Clinton's super predator comment, who ignore Hillary Clinton's litany, both Clintons' litany of racist and horrible things. By the way, how did Hillary Clinton treat Monica Lewinsky and everyone else, Paula Jones? Yeah. So, for some reason, Clinton didn't believe the victim now, did she? But if it's Kavanaugh in a galaxy far, far away, you better believe. Operation Cackle Screech, elevator hoppers. Oh my God. It's a big show, big nonsense. Trump is a disruptive force that's going up against a media, Hollywood, very, very, very corrupt, disingenuous, duplicitous, dangerous, a Democratic Party that's in bed with The Washington Post, the New York Times, MSNBC, CNN, James Comey, James Clapper, Brennan, Strzok, McCabe, Clapper, all of them. The whole mishpacha, all of them. Only one person can go up against all of these negative, very insidious individuals and entities. Now, right now, Trump is like the hero in this, or the anti-hero, or the protagonist here. Hopefully he doesn't abuse his power. Trump acquiescing and sending 1,500 Americans off to the Middle East, I am not happy with at all. But he better keep us out of a major, quagmire or colossal, horrific catastrophe like Libya and all the other interventions, because that's one of the things that's making him great. If you want to bring up, because of YouTube policy, I can't bring up the actual two names of the countries. Well, every time I ever have, it's been an issue, so I'm not even going to bring up. There's a country engaged in actual military intervention and a horrific military exercises. This country is a nation that they try to link Trump to because a journalist was murdered. This country has far more ties to Clinton, who gave the country exponentially greater weapons deals. David Sirota broke that story because they gave money to the Clinton Foundation. But this country is never mentioned, just like I'm not mentioning it now, but for different reasons. Never mentioned by the left. They only say, well, Trump is giving them weapons. Yes, so did Clinton. And they're using the weapons, and they're committing the atrocities. Not us. They're committing the atrocities. If that country was a different country, if that country was, the country that I had my bar mitzvah in, oh my God, you would have Democrats in Congress bringing up the name and saying, oh, well, this nation needs to be stopped. But they don't say that. They don't say that. They don't say that. They only bring up the fact that, American-made weapons are utilized to destroy, villages and people at this smaller country. Anyway, the duplicity on the left is just too. It's too much. Trump is like a living embodiment of the hypocrisy of the left. You're talking about a guy who has conquered. He won the presidency fair and square. Then they said Russia cheated them. They fabricated everything. Now he's going back and fighting. Now he's fighting. Bernie Sanders never fought. Bernie Sanders never, he took a dive. He's like, oh, you cheated me? I apologize to you for punching me in my face. Let me get in bed with Deborah Wasserman and James Clapper and Brennan and everybody. And gosh, it was really bad that Russia cheated Hillary after she cheated me. No, that's not what Trump is doing. He's fighting back. He signed prison reform legislation, which is the antithesis of Clinton, who's going to become the 2020 Democratic nominee, and she's going to run again. By the way, when I keep saying she's going to run again, which she will, this whole thing is a farce. The Steele dossier, CrowdStrike, the DNC never giving their servers to the U.S. government, all of this is part of her re-election campaign for 2020. She's running again. And everyone on the left is going to forget that she called black youth super predators, which she did. And you had activists, one very courageous female activist, protest her at an event, and she was forcibly taken out by one of Clinton's Madam Cyberhack's goons. No outrage from the left there. I mean, he's just a living embodiment of calling out the Democratic Party's hypocrisy. He just is. And in terms of the economy, we have a GDP that's soaring, unemployment low. In terms of foreign policy, great. Have NATO pay their fair share. And have NATO pay for their defense, for what we provide them. NATO is obsolete anyway. There is no more Soviet Union. The whole point of NATO is to go up against the Warsaw Pact. This is why when people are like, oh my God, the UK is leaving Brexit, it's like, well, yeah, there's a certain. It's not just the national, oh my Godism, oh my God, there's autonomy. It's a word called autonomy that doesn't even have any negative implications associated. Not yet. The left will probably turn it into a bad word. People want to be autonomous. Nations want to be autonomous. Countries want to be autonomous, like us. You think the United States of America would ever join a union of countries? Never. You think they would let Brussels or any other city dictate what we do? Never. We're not even part of what was it? We're not even part of the we're not a part of a bunch of things. I forgot exactly. The Hague, UN Human Rights. I forgot which one. We're not part of a whole bunch of things. Anyway, anything that would infringe upon our autonomy, we're not a part of. But the point is, the outcry over Trump is one of filled with crocodile tears, and they don't like Trump because he exposes who they are, and he actually does a good job. And he furthers the demise of the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party and liberals live on Twitter. That's why when you have a man like Jon Voight, who loves the United States of America, is a great actor, legendary actor, you have somebody who is like, he's big enough to where he can tell Hollywood to take a you-know-what or to do something to themselves. And he doesn't care. And there are people like Jon Voight in Hollywood. Okay. But they're few and far between, and generally they're like really, really, accomplished, amazing, legendary type people. But I know I'm all over the place in this segment, like I usually am. Trump is a very, very good president. Is he perfect? No. Do some of his tweets even, I would say, lay off the women. Don't go after the women, but see, he's an equal opportunity. He'll go after anyone. So people are like, oh my God, he's so horrible. Well, you know what? We have a great economy. We haven't destroyed a country like Libya. He's pushed back on the neoconservative foreign policy. He's pushed back against corrupt intelligence officials. He's pushed back against a media that's just completely disingenuous. They have a running tally of alleged lies that he told. A lot of these things are not lies. When he said, hey, you know what, I was never informed that there was an investigation of Michael Flynn, who's an honorable man who should be, I explained the Federalist, he should be given a pardon and reimbursed by the U.S. government. Then they say, he lied, he was warned. No, he was never warned. No, he was never warned that the FBI was investigating his national security advisor on a fabricated probe. That they're lying about that. So that's one of the many lies attributed to him. I guess the 50,675 that the Washington Post tabulated, that they for some reason didn't tabulate when the New York Times published an article saying, oh yeah, why Clinton needs to be two-faced. Why Hillary needs to be two-faced. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Now, he might not be the greatest since Lincoln, but Teddy Roosevelt I'd put above Trump. But he's a great president. And if your number one rebuttal is, oh, he's racist, well, then make sure not to vote for Hillary Clinton. Because she actually is. She actually is, in terms of word and rhetoric and deed and action, infinitely worse on that subject and a whole bunch of other subjects, especially foreign policy, than Trump. And Trump, the country is moving forward economically in terms of foreign policy, especially peace between North and South Korea, prison reform legislation, manufacturing. He promised manufacturing. He delivered on that. There are 500,000 plus manufacturing jobs created. 300,000 were lost. 300,000 were lost under President Obama. So we can go on forever. He is a great president. He'll win re-election easily over Clinton. They're not going to go with Biden. This whole thing was Russia cheated Clinton. He pushes back against a dangerous propaganda spin from the left, and he keeps on winning. And they're powerless against him. That alone makes him great. Give me your thoughts. My Patreon is below if you want to support my voice long term. Read my writing in the Jerusalem Post, the Daily Caller, and the Federalist. They're below. It's below in the pinned comment. Check out H82A. Right now it's my firearms channel, but it's going to be an extension, essentially, of my new website, which is going to help you defeat anyone you know that has Trump derangement syndrome. Give me your thoughts. Thank you.